Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I figured I would talk about my impressions on the Breyerfest models. I know a lot of YouTubers like to do that, and I figured I would give my 2 cents. I am screen sharing and I'm on Zoom, so this is a little bit of a new format for me, but I hope everything works out okay. So first up, we have this year's celebration horse, which is Athenian Lady. I really like the Dundee mold. It's actually one of my favorite molds. So I was really excited to see this mold being used as a celebration horse. I know this mold was used as a limited edition a couple years ago. And some people were complaining that their colors look pretty similar, but I think Athenian Lady is unique enough, especially with that marking on her nose and the little spot on her belly. I really like her story as well, so I'm really excited to see her in person, and I will be getting two of her. And then we have the single day stablemates. So we have it Make It Pop Like Pink Champagne, blue jeans, white shirt, waiting for that green light, and suddenly I was a lilac sky. Unfortunately, I do not like any of these. I am not a decorator person. And I especially don't like the filigree kind of decorator look, so I will not be getting these. I do think that they're really cute. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick the Cassidy, the blue jeans, white shirt, because I think she is the cutest of the bunch, but I'm personally not a decorator person myself. I do think their packaging is really cute, though. I will be excited to see what that packaging looks like in person. Now onto the special runs. We have Can't Hold Us Down. This is the vintage special run for this year. I currently don't have very many on this mold. The only other one I have is Stunt Double, which is from Breyerfest 2010. And I really like this horse. I'm not a huge fan of brindle markings, so this isn't at the top of my list. She will not be coming home with me. But I do think that her coloring is really cool. I think I do like the brindle better on this mold with this specific coloring, but I'm not a huge fan of brindle. Then we have Miss Independent. I am not a huge fan of the True North mold. I have Danny, and that's about it. That'll probably be the extent of my collection on this mold. I do like this color on her, though. I think it's really nice. And I do like the shading in her mane and tail, but she will not be coming home with me this year. Then we have Sorry Not Sorry. I do like Sorry Not Sorry. I'm not a huge fan of the Salinero mold. I think the tail looks a little weird. Like, I don't know. It looks really skinny to me. But I am an Appaloosa person. So I do like the fact that this is a really pretty chestnut leopard Appaloosa. I also like that it's glossy. I am team glossy all the way, which is very funny. My boyfriend is team matte. So sometimes we like different models because of that. This one is kind of in the middle of my preference list. I would not be disappointed if I did get picked for him, but he's not at the very top of my list. I do think he's very pretty, though. Then we have This Is My Fight Song. This is on the Premier Club mold Adonis. I'm obsessed with this horse. I love the shading. I love the mane and tail. I especially love the white stripe in the mane, where the pinto marking meets the mane. I just think he's really cool. I'm usually not a fan of rearing molds. That's not my favorite thing in the world, but I do really like this guy, and I am excited to see him in person. He is #1 on my preference list. I just think he's super cool. And I'm very excited to bring him home. So hopefully, I did get picked for him this year. Then we have Surprise Girls Run the World. Hopefully I will be getting two of these models this year. I did rank my preferences in such a way that I might be getting two. I honestly have no idea what the surprise horse is going to be. I've seen the speculation videos. I've seen them reference this model as a mare, but we know they can swap genders for the molds and stuff like that. I would be very excited if it was Ruffian. I would also be very excited if it was on the Oasis mold. I think those two are very likely. I think Weather Girl is also maybe a probability here. I'm not a huge fan of Weather Girl. I liked Picante, which was the brick and mortar exclusive that was just released like maybe 2 months ago. I did like that, but they're notoriously tippy, and I really don't like that. I think if I had to pick, I would probably want the surprise to be Ruffian. But I will be very excited to figure out and see when people start posting pictures of what the actual surprise horse is. Then we have the Edge of Glory, which is on the Ashquar mold. This horse is a complete miss for me. I do not like this mold at all, and I also do not like this colorway. So he will not be coming home with me. I do like that he's glossy. I think that makes his color pop a little bit more. But personally, he's just not my favorite. Then we have Fighter and Survivor. Fighter and Survivor fall just under my top preferences. I really like them. The only thing I don't like about them is that the foal has a blue eye. And sometimes I feel like Breyer's blue eyes can look a little bit wonky. I know that's just me, but that's just my personal preference. On the other hand, the mare is absolutely gorgeous. I love bays. They're absolutely my favorite color of horse. I would love to see this mare in gloss. I think that would be interesting. I think it would really make that the her shading pop a lot more. Um, I wouldn't be disappointed if I brought these home. I'm just a little iffy on the full, which is why they weren't in my top preference list. Then we have I Will Survive, which is, I believe, a quagga. I think he's super cute. Personally, I don't really collect like the non-equine. I know technically he is an equine, but he's the non-equine run, special run for this year. I do like the stripes. I think they're super cool. I love the shading on this model, but personally, this is just not a mold that I collect. And then we have Better Than Revenge. I know I said earlier that I don't like decorators. And I kind of lied because I'm obsessed with this horse. She is also at the top of my preference list. I don't know what it is about her. I don't know if it's the Lisa Frank inspiration. I grew up with a lot of Lisa Frank in the early 2000s, and she just speaks to me. And this is my favorite main variation on this model. I really wish they would have done a realistic color. I definitely would have preferred that. But I really like this girl as is, and I'm really hoping I can bring her home with me. I just really like the colors in her mane and tail. I just think she's really pretty, and I'm really hoping I get picked for her. Now on to our limited edition models. So the first is Always Chipper. I do not have any on the Newsworthy mold, and I never thought I really would get any on the Newsworthy mold, and then I saw this guy. My biggest weakness is black and white paint horses, and this horse kind of checks all my boxes. So I'm really excited to see what he looks like in person and pick out a really nice copy. I like that they went with the braided mane and tail. I think it just makes him look really sleek. I'm not a huge fan of the loose mane and tail variation of Newsworthy, so I do really like this guy, and I'm really excited to bring him home with me. Then we have Alan A Day's Work, or Alan. Um, I like the mule mold to an extent. I do think we need an updated mule mold. I would really like to see that, maybe just with like some sharper lines, a little more definition. I do like his pattern though. I'm a big Appaloosa person. I think this is a gorgeous color for him. I think this is one though that I will have to see in person before I decide if I would like to add him to my collection or not. Then we have Gascon the Great. I wasn't the biggest fan of Cancion when he came out. I'm just not really much of a liver chestnut girl. But I do like this colorway on him. I am curious to see if there's a little bit more shading than what the pictures show. So I'm curious to see him in person at Breyerfest. This is also one that I'll need to see before I decide if I'd like to buy him or not. I do like the pinking on his muzzle. I think his mane and tail look really nice, but I do want to see him in person before I make any decisions on him. Then we have Blue Zeus. Unpopular opinion, I am not a fan of the Fireheart mold. I have never been a fan of the Fireheart mold. I know a lot of people are. Not saying this to ruffle some feathers. He's just not my cup of tea. That being said, I think this is my favorite colorway on the Fireheart mold. I really like the blue roan that Breyer does. And I really like this guy. I like his high socks. I think he looks really nice. But just personally for me, he will not be one that is coming home with me. Then we have Just Like Fire, which is the classic decorator for this year. I do collect classics. I have a kind of limited classic collection. I try to be very picky with mine, and seeing as I don't collect decorators, this guy is just not for me. He's very bright. I think he will be popular for some people, but he's just not my cup of tea. Then we have Fortitude, which is the crystal. I don't collect the crystals. I'm clumsy. I know I would break it somehow. But I am a fan of this mold, so I think it would be cool to see him in person. And then we have the Best of Breyerfest Series 5. I think these are really cool. The problem is I only like one of these molds. It is the Rearing Stallion mold. So for me, I don't think it's worth it for me to buy the whole set. I think I'll just track down that one individually. I also like the Loping Quarter Horse. I wish they would have done eye whites. I'm kind of a stickler about eye whites. I like my horses to have them. I know that's not everyone's opinion, but that's my personal preference. I do like the colorway on the Irish Cob here. I'm just not a fan of the Irish Cob mold. Mine always stand a little funny. But I do think this set is really cool. Then we have Wild Things, which is an online only stablemate, same as Blue Zeus, so you can buy it online. That's the only place you can buy it, but you can be an in-person ticket holder and still have access to it online. I know that confuses some people. I really like this horse. I was not expecting to like this horse this much. I'm not a huge fan of this mold, but I think this colorway, with the high leg markings, I think it just looks really nice, and I really would like to add her to my collection. And then we have the plush. I like the plush, but I can't stand the eyebrows. I know they were going for a little bit of a cartoony look. It's just not my preference. I feel like I would have liked him more without the eyebrows. That being said, he is very cute. I usually don't buy the plushes for Breyerfest, but I do think they're really cute. So that is it for my opinions on the Breyerfest models. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm very much looking forward to Breyerfest. It's super close. I'm getting a little nervous, but mostly excited. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching this video. Have a wonderful day.